I've known you for a while now. We're creeping up on 10 years in some time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's one name that whenever it's mentioned, I just see you light up. So can you talk to us about Antonia, your daughter?
Yes, of course. So Antonia, who I I had when I was 26, is now going to be 29 years old this year. So it's hard to believe. So as I mentioned earlier, she was diagnosed with autism when we were in Ontario at age 2, and it was devastating. I really do feel that took an okay marriage, and it made it weak. It's a lot of stress on a marriage when a child is diagnosed with anything, I think. In Antonia's case, she, and I know this is controversial, but I'm just going to say it anyway. She lost because I kept a diary, right, as a new mother. It was very exciting, and so I was like, "Oh, she walked today," and, she said mama and dada and all this stuff, so I was keeping track of all of her milestones, both physical and mental, and within a week of getting the measles, mumps, rubella, or the MMR shot, she lost all her mental milestones. Everything was gone. She stopped talking. Let me be very clear. I don't believe that it was just the shot, or we'd all be like, we'd all have the same reaction. So, but it wasn't normal what I saw. And at 26 years old, it was very difficult to go up against, some of the medical system, the pharmaceutical company. I didn't know any different. You just kind of accept it. And if I had any advice to anyone today who is going through any kind of diagnosis like that with their child, be vigilant um, in really understanding what's going on. Ask questions, do some research. I didn't have in the internet. This is really dating me now. The internet wasn't all that old back then, so it was still not like, and we certainly didn't have anything to do with AI, obviously, right? So it just wasn't a good source of information, and certainly wouldn't be something that I could actively research. And you're busy dealing with the fallout of that. It changed everything. It changed her ability to communicate with us. It changed like that diagnosis. It was devastating, right? It entered us into a whole new world that we didn't know we even had to you have a child, you think, okay, well, you're going to go through all the regular stuff, right? So that was super super challenging. And when I think about, like, we've had quite a bit of adversity over the years. When she hit puberty, there was a lot of aggression that came out. She ended up going into care at an early age, which almost broke me as well. At an early age of 13, because it was starting to become very dangerous what was happening. For not just for me, for her more so. And so, if I had any advice for parents, it's just who have older children who have a diagnosis like that, and her diagnosis is probably, you consider it moderate to severe. So she does have some language. It's usually focused around food, and and gift shops. She likes to go to gift shops when we when we go out. She likes to shop like my mom does, her nana. So, but and just lots of different challenges with, the doctors are really fast to medicate and things like that, right? So, it didn't work for her. She had adverse reactions to typical pharmaceutical medication. So I encourage people to look at alternatives as well. And what she takes now, the only thing she takes now is THC and CBD, but in capsules. So it obviously, she's not sitting there smoking it, of course. Yeah, that would not be good. She comes in a, it comes in a capsule form. and it's all regulated by her caregivers. So, yeah, it's been a real journey, but she is amazing. And the one thing when I talk about people who influence me, that kid. Now she's going to be 29, but she's still I'm still going to say that kid. It could be the middle of winter. Everyone's wearing black and gray and dark colors, but she loves pink, orange, and yellow. So she looks like she stepped right out of like the 80s because she loves her color. And the cool thing about her, there's many cool things, but the really cool thing is she's not, it speaks to the fact that she can't be conditioned. So I won't go into too much of that from how I see the world, but we get very conditioned to kind of adhering to the norms and so on. She can't be conditioned to that, so she won't go, oh well, everyone's wearing black, I should probably wear black. She does her own thing. She dances to her own beat and so on. And that to me is a huge inspiration. So, I mean, she has her challenges. We've had our challenges. But we just went swimming. She's a chip off the old block. We just went swimming in a very cold ocean a couple nights ago. And you get acclimatized, so it's like, oh, it's not that cold, but it was actually probably we were the only ones. It's usually us and a Russian family that are in there. And anyway, but she's a huge inspiration to me, and I appreciate you asking about her because I think she is actually on a very different level than, and I'd say this about many autistic children or people. Sorry, I keep thinking children in her sake because she's not a child anymore. Even Temple Grandin, who is a very famous autistic individual who has her PhD in animal sciences. She said when she was young, she would look down at her jello and she would see it swirling around. It's like she could see the energy around the jello, if that makes sense. So I feel that, and there's some evidence out there. I mean, Vin, we were talking about this not too long ago. There's a lot of evidence out there that that autistic individuals that are kind of on that severe to moderate or moderate to severe scale who are nonverbal are playing in a different space or in a different dimension than the average human being. So yeah, she's a pretty special person, all right. She makes me crazy at times, but but just like my parents do. But but that's family for you. So
Person to squeeze my hat. Another autistic person,
yeah.
completely different kind. Thank you